Each week, Netflix always has a wide variety of new shows coming out, and this is one that you should definitely make time for. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a brand new Netflix review for season 1 of The Outer Banks. Now, no worries, there will not be any spoilers in here, but I also want to say you probably haven't even heard about this one because it seems like it's gone very under the radar. I didn't even hear about it until just a couple weeks before I had gotten the screeners for it, and I'm actually really excited to finally be talking about it because this is the show that I've been really interested in since hearing the initial premise, which of course is about a group of teenagers from the wrong side of the tracks who stumble upon a treasure map that unearths a long-buried secret. This is a show, again, that kind of made me feel like it was throwing it back to the days of the Goonies with maybe a little bit of older kids in here, and that is what really initiated the premise, because I love these kind of premises when you take these young kids who maybe are kind of street rat type people and are heading out on an adventure that could get them killed. And The Outer Banks is definitely that. And this isn't a perfect season 1 by any means. There are some issues that I do have with it. But if you're looking for something that's going to keep you engaged and definitely keep you like wanting to see what happens on the next episode and the episode after that, season 1, definitely going to get you on there. If you guys are new here though and you guys love early movie reviews, if you guys love early TV reviews, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button where I do tons of content like this on a daily basis. And as well, guys, make sure to get in a comment down below and let me know, have you guys heard of the show? Are you guys excited to watch it? Have you already watched it? Let's discuss it down there. The Outer Banks, it has all the typical things that you would love in it. The mysterious, the romance, the action, the thriller type aspects of it all. And of course it has adventure. And these are all the kind of great things that kind of run around into a show that you kind of want nowadays, since a lot of us are cooped up in our house. And I think that's what The Outer Banks really like established out there. And in general, this show is very unique. Because while I said I do have some cons to it overall, the thing that actually made me really love this show, while the adventure is fun, it was actually the characters involved in here. I really came to love each and every one of the characters and the dilemmas that they have going on, not just in their personal lives, that really are some of the more crux of what I really was enjoying, but also this whole adventure and how they are intertwined into there, and this whole mythology on this island and the way that they build up the social establishments of it all is actually quite unique and fun. And I've seen other shows try to do this before, but maybe it gets a little bit too confusing. I know Altered Carbon has done a little bit of this as too, but I actually like the taken back of how Outer Banks was actually able to establish this in their world and the society efforts that we get to see throughout the whole entire season 1. And while some of it is a little bit cliche, which talking about cliche stuff, let's just get my major con out of the way. And this is really the only thing that comes about in this whole entire show, because this show is actually not as predictable as you think it would be. It actually kind of keeps you on the edge of your seat, and you don't know exactly what's going to happen here or there next. And that's kind of actually what made me had a lot of fun with this, is because I'd be like, oh, where's this going to tie in? How are they going to get here? How are they going to figure this out? How are they going to get past this? And that's always the more fun element of it all that I was really much enjoyed of, and really was the thing that actually kept me on the edge of the seat, especially as things start to ramp up, because episode 1's a little bit slow. But as it continues, it keeps hooking you in and in. And there came one episode in particular where I was so hyped and so sucked in that I just sat for the rest of the sitting and binged the rest of the season in one sitting. And it was just sitting there like, okay, yeah, I'm in for this. Going back to that con that I wanted to really initially talk about. And this is something that I think could bother you. It could not affect you at all. And it could also maybe not even make you want to watch the show, especially after you kind of feel it out in the first couple of episodes. So this is something that the show is very cheesy at times. Some of the dialogue is a kind of a hit or miss for me, and I'm not going to get into too many particular things because that due to spoilers, but there are some relationship aspects in here that I don't mind. I don't mind at all. But there's some dialogue in between that I'm like, really? That's what we're going to say. And even some performances that seem a little bit over the top and like they're milking it a little bit too much. Again, I kind of get the tone that they were going for in this show, but the show's trying to be very serious at times. And then they have these like eye-rolling lines that I was just like, come on, did we have to go there? And an actor going above and beyond, and you're like, come on, dude. Settle it down just a bit so we can feel a little bit more realistic at this point. Kind of where it gets to. There are some items in here that are very unrealistic and again can bother you. It didn't bother me, but really my biggest grievances came to be about the eye-rolling dialogue at times that I felt like could have been better for the scenarios and in general this show's establishment. Even with that said, I did think a majority of the performances were actually really good, especially when you come down into the main actors. Madison Bailey as Kiara is great. Madelyn Cline as Sarah Cameron is phenomenal. She was actually one of the most charming aspects of this show. Jonathan Davis as Pope, great. And I would even go as far to say when you go down to the other ones, Rudy Pankow as JJ, great as well. But really the big standout is Chase Stokes as John B, our main protagonist. I actually think that him in particular with the character of Sarah Cameron played by Madelyn Cline were actually some of the strongest aspects of this whole entire story. And again, yes, some of their dialogue is a little bit eye-rolling, but I think they made the most out of it that they possibly could. And those two characters alike are actually the ones that I was cheering for the most, especially when it just comes down to the whole Pogues and their whole, again, that whole societal effort and their kind of group that are kind of on the other side of the tracks that not everyone looks at. You really come to care about them and actually feel like you are one of them. The show kind of just reminded me of those old adventure shows that we would get back on, say, the CW that I really do miss. Before I give you guys my final thoughts on the Outer Banks, make sure to comment down below. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Are you guys excited for this one? Have you guys seen it already? Let's discuss it down below, guys, as well as hit that like and subscribe button so you never miss out on content like this on a daily basis. Also, head on over to Sandwich on Films on how to see films early when movie theaters start opening up once again. And of course, just a big thank you to you and a big thank you to my Patreon supporters, because without you, I wouldn't be able to do this. Outer Banks is a very edgier seat, entertaining, and really unpredictable adventure story that's filled with mystery. It's filled with drama. It's filled with the crime thrilling elements and of course a little bit of a romance. And maybe some of the dialogue is quite eye-rolling at times. Maybe you'll cringe here and there. But as kind of a throwback to one of those old adventure shows or even movies like The Goonies, I kind of was all in for this. Yes, it's rated mature, but it actually fit the tone of it. And yeah, some people are milking it a little bit too much, but overall the performances were actually good. Madison Bailey, Jonathan Davis, and even Rudy Pankow as the supporting actors are great. But really it's Madelyn Cline and of course Chase Stokes who really steal the show for this one. I was actually quite surprised with this one. Again, the first episode was fine, I liked it, but I didn't know how the rest of the season would play out. And by the middle of the whole season, I was hooked and could not stop wanting to watch this show. And I hope that we end up getting a season 2, because the way that it leaves off, I'm like, dang, I need a season 2. I feel fulfilled with this season 1, but now I need just a bit more. So guys, with all that said, I'm going to give the Outer Banks a B. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the Outer Banks. Do you guys like it? Did you hate it? Let's discuss it down below in the comments section. I can't wait to hear your guys' thoughts on this one. Of course, guys, make sure to stay home, stay safe, and stay quarantined. And of course, until next time, stay classy.